Hi friends, I am joining Kari's art journal prompts with Kari Gibson Art. And I today in this video am going to do week 9 and week 10 because I got behind. I've been trying to clean and organize my craft room, and as you guys know, that takes a lot of time to do. So that's what I've been working on, and I haven't, I've just fallen behind on some things. So that's why I'm going to combine the 2 weeks. What you see me doing right here is I used a piece of tape, 2 pieces of tape, to separate this gorgeous napkin. Keep in mind that some napkins have 2 layers and some have 3. It appears that this napkin only has 2. Now, this sheet did not get, sometimes a print comes through on it. This sheet didn't get a print on it, but I like to keep it to the side while I'm crafting because sometimes I need to clean something up and it's handy for me. Now, for our prompts this week, for week 9, the main color is blue. And then we've got the accent color of beige, and our words are a memory. And then our focal point is a costume, and we must use texture. So I'm going to start by adhering this napkin to my page. Now, under normal circumstances, I would not lay a piece of paper right across an entire spread. Napkin's pretty thin, so I'm experimenting a little bit. I can always cut this and tear it out if I feel like it's taking up too much room. I am just using simple glue stick in this spread. I've been doing that lately with my collages, and seems to be working fine. When I work with napkins, I personally don't mind if they get a wrinkle in them. I think it kind of adds like a textural antique feeling to it, so that doesn't bother me at all. Some people don't like it, but honestly, I do not mind it. Now our question is, do we want to tear the edges or do we want to cut them and have a more precise look? And I'm feeling like, you guys know I'm a usual tearer, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this today. I can see through the napkin to the page, so I am not worried about cutting the page. Since beige is our accent color, I am going to color in some of this ticket beige. I end up pulling an envelope over here just so that I can use the edge of it to create a very straight line. Here I'm just adding some beige to the birds just to tone down some of the yellow. Trying to bring in some more of the beige accent color, but kind of do it naturally. As you know, our main color is blue, so I'm going to use some of this pretty blue fabric. And some of you might have seen the Princess collaboration where I made a book cover out of a Cinderella costume. And that is what this piece of blue is. I had a little bit of extra, and that's where I got it. So with this blue piece, I'm fulfilling more of our color prompt, I am fulfilling our costume prompt, and I'm also fulfilling the texture prompt. So what I'm doing over here on the edge is I am just making it ruffly. Only at the top though. The bottom I'm just going to allow to hang freely. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere my ticket. So remember one of our prompts was a memory, and so I'm sharing the memory of my first trip to Disney World. And so this would simulate the ticket that I would have used to get in. I'm going in again with my beige marker just to add a little more beige accents to the page before I move on. Here I'm using more of the materials that I had when I made the Princess Collaboration Journal. And I had used a little golden book for ephemera. And I was left with the cover. So I'm going to go ahead and use that cover in our collage, and this will represent, of course, well, number one, her dress is blue, so you know we get to do that, but also it'll represent my trip to Disney. On this cover is also a castle that I will use, and the word Disney is on there. I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut her out. I'll be cutting out the castle and also the word Disney, as I mentioned before, and then I will adhere them to the spread using Aleene's tacky glue. Okay, our main color is blue, which we can see that there's a ton of blue on this. Our accent color is beige, and so I've added beige to this ticket. I've also added it within this design here, and I added some beige to the birds. And actually, her hair it's a little bit darker than beige, but it could be considered in the family. Our words are a memory, and that is my first trip to Disney, so I am sharing that right here. My focal point is a costume, so she is in costume, but also to use the texture and also costume in these prompts. If you guys saw my princess journal that I made, the videos that I did last week, this is a piece of the actual costume that I used to make the cover of that princess journal, and also the tassel that went with it. So here is week 9 of Kari's journal prompts. Okay, we are on to week 10, and the main color is brown, the accent color is red, the words are I am grateful, the focal point is a piece of treasure, and we must use scribble. So I enjoyed working with napkin in the week 9 spread, so I want to do that again. And I chose this one because it's got a lot of brown in it and it's got red in it. So we are going to go ahead and cut this in half. And then we're going to see, I think it's plenty big, but let's check it out. Plenty big. So I think what we'll do is we're going to choose, I like that this has so much brown on it, so we're going to choose that part of it. Yeah, and I think actually, I was thinking I might cut this blue off. I can save it as a scrap and use it for something else later. I'm thinking since this apple is red, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out just in case I want to use it in this spread somewhere. You know what I could do is cut it out and then just place it differently. So this is going to go like this. So I'm going to cut the next part off just beyond this fold here. Okay, so now to separate them, I'm going to go grab my tape. So you can see here I've got 2 pieces of tape. I'll go ahead and start in this corner down here. I'm just going to put one on this side, and already it's lifting it away. I didn't even need to use the second piece. But let's go ahead. I think there might be another ply of napkin here, so let's put this here. Yep, there we go. And there we go. So using the tape makes it easier to pull the, to pull the layers apart. Makes it real easy, as you can see. Right, so I'm going to glue this napkin down the same as I did week 9 using glue stick. So since our main color is brown, I'm going to go ahead and use some espresso truffle ink around the edges. I'm not using what they call a dauber. I'm just going to go straight in with this ink pad. I'm not even just going to bother with whatever the tools I'm supposed to have because I don't have them. And so I'm just, here, let me set this on the edge. It'll make it a little easier for me to do this. Can you see it if it's on the edge? Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. So this part, the napkin didn't go all the way up on this part, so I'm going to go ahead and try to make that whole part brown. I'm going to cover the page underneath. I probably should have done that on the other side, but I didn't. But you know, it's probably going to be fine. Let's check and see. Yeah, it was fine. I'll go ahead and do it now because I do want to make sure I fill this part in. Okay, now we can go in with this here. Definitely remove some anxiety having the little paper underneath. Now let's go down the edge with it. Now I'm going to do the other side. Oh, and I already did this side a little bit, so I think we're good to go. I'll just add a little bit more. Okay, so that's done. I got this fancy marker from my daughter, and I think I'm going to go ahead and experiment with this a little bit. It's called Watercolor Dual Tip Marker by Artist's Loft. I have no idea. I have not used it yet. But let's go in on this edge with it and see what we get. I wonder if there's any ink left in it. Ooh, there is. Oh, and it's a very pretty color brown. So we're just going to color in the spaces that I missed with the ink. Maybe I'll give it a little texture by doing this, going at it with this angle here. Yeah, I like that. All right, I'm going to fill in the blanks, then I'll go in with the little same movement that I did in the other one. Now, again, since our main color is brown, let's go in and add some of this brown just by highlighting some areas with it. I like how the marker bleeds on the napkin. I love that so much because it bleeds, but it's not too much. Let's add a little brown to the bird. We can add some brown to this nest. And we'll add some to this nest too. I didn't even see this one. Probably shouldn't be worrying about coloring this in right now until I get all of the other pieces on. But you know, I don't know, I got focused on it and I was just diving right in. So let's get to the rest of the collage, and then if we need to come back and add more, we will. Because half of this might end up being covered up. But I won't regret doing that because it was so much fun. I loved it. Okay, friends. So I've got some brown and I've got some red for her accent. I feel like that's coming along very nicely. And I want to tell you what I'm grateful for, and then I'll have to put it in words and put it on here. But I am truly grateful for nature. Nature really brings healing to me, and I love being out in it. And so not only am I grateful for it, but it is a treasure to me. And when my kids were a little bit younger, for years we went camping, and I absolutely loved it because I love being outdoors in nature. And you know I love birds. I talk about that all the time. So this napkin, when I started this collage, I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew the napkin colors were right and I wanted to use them. So that's what I started with. And then I was looking at the napkin and realized, oh my gosh, this really has so much nature in it, and that's something I could focus on for the rest of the collage. So that's what I'm doing. And I am semi-fussy cutting out an image of, and it's brown, so that's perfect. I found this in my stash, and it's an image of birds. They are nesting, and I'm gonna add that in here. Also, to represent treasure, although nature is the treasure here that I'm focusing on, I would like to play with some of this gold eyelash trim and layer this because it'll kind of look like it's the bird nest, but it'll be gold. So I like that. Okay, my plan is coming together. I'm going to use remember I cut the image from this card, so I'm going to use the back of the card, and I'm going to tear it. We are going to add some brown to it on the edges. And that is a really dark espresso brown. So I want to go around those edges with more of this is just a little bit of a lighter brown. So I'm just going to go in here kind of casually. I don't want to be too neat about it. You know, it kind of looks like a nest itself, so I like that. Just to make sure that's blended nicely, I'm going to go over it one more time with this. There's a few little white spots on the edges. I'm going to try to cover if I can. I think that looks great. This is a little bit more of a brown, and I'm going to write I am grateful for, because those are the words we have to use. And then I'm going to put nature, and I'm going to try to scribble it. So that's probably going to go over here somewhere. And then I've got my nature here, which I just love so much. Let's go ahead and adhere our nest. I got this awesome eyelash trim from Tina at Tina Loves to Craft, and we did a swap and she gave it to me, and I was so excited, and because I don't have anything like this. And then look how perfect it is in this collage. I mean, how fun, right? So I have decided to also use some of this eyelash trim underneath my words. I am grateful for nature. So I'm trying to, I didn't want to cover the apple, but actually it looks so perfect right there underneath the green leaves. All right, and we are going in. I think that's where I want it, right underneath those leaves. Okay, as much as I love this, I felt like it was missing something, so I am going to go ahead and add this little birdhouse right here to the corner. It just adds a nice layer and just, you know, a little extra special touch. Here we are. We've got our main color is brown. I think I'm definitely feeling that now. And then our accent color is red, which there's plenty of that. And our piece, well, I am grateful for nature, which is our treasure. So nature is the treasure. That is, you know, that's all over it. We have apples and, you know, bird's nests with eggs in it. We have little birdies over here and a bird here and eggs here and another bird here, and it's all very naturey. And then our gold is like the bird nest, so we've got that in there. And then I scribbled that I'm grateful for nature. So I think it came out great. I love it. It's so colorful. That was week 10. Here's week 9. I'm so grateful that the brown from my markers didn't come through on this page. I was a little concerned about that. I don't know if I mentioned that this would have been my ticket into Disney into my first trip into Disney. I can't remember if I mentioned that or not. So here we are, week 9 and week 10. Thanks for watching. See you soon.